The last meditation with the kaleidoscope started off slowly with the meditation and got into it quietly, did the breathing, activated the pineal gland, and then as it started, I just drifted off when we got into the black. It wasn't really strong, and then went up a bit further. And when we started with the kaleidoscope, I could see the colours, and I just got into the colours, and it just drifted off. And when he called up the first image, which was seated person with the 3 chakras and the circle around the outside, remember that. Then we went back into it. I've drifted off again, and it was black this time. Little soft blue lights in the distance, and I was fully. And when he said, "Remember the image," I've gone back to the image, and I was surrounded by a sphere. It's not a circle, a sphere of light. He'd said, "Think of a large beach ball," and I was just enveloped, just encapsulated, and drifted up, and I'm floating along in the bubble. And it wasn't a circle, it was all around me, but I could see through it. Wherever I looked, you could just see the circle as I looked at it. And sitting there enjoying just the experience and floating along. And then 2 light figures came down on either side of the sphere, as if to guide and point and take me for a spin round the block to see what was happening. And I'm still trembling. And then there was an offer or a premonition, would you like to leave and have a look at it? And I'm curious. So off I went, and I'm sitting, and I just drifted outside of it. And I've turned around, and I can see the complete sphere with these 2 bright light figures on the side saying, "It's fine, we got you." And just to look around and go, this is what this is about. And I'm sitting down, and then I looked into the sphere, and there's me, and then I in slow-mo, like in oil, just quietly dropped back down and back into the sphere. And at about that time, the meditation changed, and he said, "Now come back to the kaleidoscope." And I just drifted back down. I didn't need the kaleidoscope. My brain was going berserk. I just kept my eyes shut, and I had my own black light, electric blue lights, very small, going down in front of me. And I thought, I'm okay with this is fine. And when it slowed down, I'd half opened my eyes just to pick up some of the geometric patterns on the screen to keep me moving down. And I found the pineal gland was slowing down a little. So I did deep breathing, drew it up, squeezed, reactivated it. And a little part of the brain in the side's going, I can drive this from the side. Watch this. You need a little more of that, a little bit of this. I was tweaking the recipe as I went. Really surreal. And yet I'm still in all darkness, but a little part of the control freak in the back of the head's going, I can make this recipe work. And off I went. Then we came to the mind movies. The mind movies, I didn't need the phone. He said, go to your mind movie, pick up the device. I got the double flash of lights, which was the cue to change. And my mind movie just scrolled through with the edits done that I need to do, slower transitions. Mine needs a recut and a rework rather badly. So my brain just reworked the screens so they transition seamlessly. I had the message clear in my head, and the music played, and it was all just right there. I was immersed in the mind movie. It just was real. And then when we did it the second time, he said, just listen to the music. And I didn't need it. I was still in my body, couldn't feel anything below the waist, and my hips and knees have been giving me grief for ages, and I've been fidgeting. I didn't move for the whole meditation. As the meditation's gone on, I've gone to the, and when he said, when we came to the end of it, and he said to get onto the floor, I couldn't move my legs, couldn't move them. So I ended up falling on the floor in the fetal position because I couldn't straighten anything out, it was all locked up. And I've then gone, and then he's saying to stretch and try and meld back into the earth. I tried to roll on my back, so I eventually got there. And at about that point, I'd still got the black, and I'm just floating comfortably. And a large figure came up over my right hip, towered over me with a soft yellow light. And it was just a surreal moment about, I'm just checking you're okay. It was almost someone just wandering in, are you okay? And I just lost it. Just quietly sat there. And then eventually calmed back down, and some others helped me get back in my body a little. And we eventually got up and started to move out. And when I left the hall, I managed to walk straight out, not straight, a bit shaky, jelly-legged, but the knees and the hips, which have been giving me a whole lot of grief, I'm walking. And I'm a walking tool.